Hey everyone, welcome into AZ Audibles. I'm Claudia Collins, joined by Eric Sorensen and Zach Alvira, and it's what we've all been waiting for. Championship weekend is happening at Sun Devil Stadium this Friday and Saturday. Let's start with 4A. Eric, what are you excited about?
It's a rural matchup. You have Casa Grande, who we've talked about before, but Post and Butte out in the Santan Valley is an incredible story. They're the 1 seed. I know Casa Grande gets a lot of the headlines, but Dane Thompson's team is really impressive. They have 2 losses, both to open division participants this year in ALA, Queen Creek, and Cactus. Coach Thompson has increased that win total since he's take over the program in 2017. Look out for Octavius Joe, their running back. Nobody really talks about him. To almost 2,000 rushing yards and around 20 touchdowns. I can't wait to see this matchup Friday at Sun Devil Stadium.
Eric, I'm also really excited about this game. I saw Casa Grande play last week against Mesquite, and they took down the 2-time defending champs. And Angel Flores was unbelievable. I had said previously that I saw him this past summer in the combine, but he was very impressive. He has over 2,200 passing yards and over 1,000 rushing yards and 25 touchdowns on the season. But the fun facts here, neither of these teams have ever been to a state championship. And let's not forget that Casa Grande is the only undefeated team playing for a championship this weekend. Now, Zach, what are you excited about in 5A?
I'm really excited for this matchup between Horizon and South Point. These are two teams that were pretty much on the cusp of making the open division. Horizon under Andy Litton this year has been phenomenal. Only 2 losses have been to Saguaro, who is now in the open division championship, and Notre Dame Prep, who kind of had a late season surge to really cement themselves in the 5A playoffs. Wesley Lambert, the Horizon running back, I saw him a few weeks ago. Fantastic. A fantastic runner. He can break tackles. He can run away from you with his speed. He is super impressive alongside Skylar Partridge, the quarterback there at Horizon. On the other side, Anthony Wilhite for South Point Catholic has been phenomenal. Over 1,200 yards rushing this season for the Lancers. This is a team that knows what it takes to win in the playoffs, and it's really no surprise that they're back there, especially with a quarterback like Trayson Bourget under center for the Lancers there.
Flip it around, Zach, to the other side of the ball. South Point has an incredible player in Elijah Rushing. Eric Rogers, their head coach, basically took over for Dennis Benet and has kept the program moving along, like you mentioned. They've been in the open the past 2 seasons, and they are not going to be afraid of the bright lights and the big stage this weekend.
Now, moving on to 6A. Zach, what are you excited about in that game?
There's a lot of matchups when it comes to the players that I'm really excited for. I mean, you can look at Anthony Lucas in that Chaparral defensive line against Highland's offensive line. You can look at the matchups on the outside with the speed that Highland has. Chaparral has the speed on offense and defense in the secondary, and Highland has the same thing. But for me, it's the quarterbacks. Gage Daly versus Brayton Silbor. These quarterbacks have both set the new records at their schools for the most passing yards in a season. I'm very excited to see what both of these quarterbacks can do in their high school finale, and it being a championship game makes it even better.
And last but not least, we've got the Open Division Championships, Saguaro taking on Chandler. Eric, what are you looking forward to?
Can the Sabercats keep rolling along? I mean, they took down Hamilton, and we talked about it last week, guys. One of the keys I had was Saguaro's offensive line containing Hamilton's front 7. They were able to move the chains when they absolutely had to. Clearly, Devin Dampier is a game changer. He's really starting to come into his own. They want to win an Open Division championship. But to do it, hey, remember us, Chandler, the 5-time defending state champs? We're on the other side, and I cannot wait for this one. I think these are the 2 best teams. No offense to Hamilton, but you know what? Saguaro was the better team last weekend, and I'm curious to see how this week plays out.
I've got to agree they were the better team last weekend, but a lot of that did ride on Devin Dampier. He really is the guy that led them to that win. So if he can do that again this weekend, I definitely think they can take down the Wolves. But the thing that I was impressed with, I haven't seen Saguaro until this past weekend, and their size and their speed and everything really is that of a championship team. So I could see them be our Open Division champs this year. Zach, what do you think?
For me, it's going to be the matchup between Javen Jacobs and that Chandler secondary. Frankie Morales, there for the Wolves, got that game-winning interception. He leads the team with interceptions this year. Him and Devin Dunn, both back there as safeties, have been key for the Wolves' success this season. But how are they going to contain Javen Jacobs and the rest of that wide receiver core there at Saguaro? It's going to be a really fun matchup. Both of these teams are very deserving of being in this position, and I hope we see a lot of fireworks, to be completely honest.
And one other point I want to make, guys, looking at this big picture, I have to give major kudos and props to the AAA. 4A, 1 versus 2, 5A, 1 versus 2, 6A, 1 versus 2. Last year, I was pretty critical of a couple of their open division selections, but this year the committee hit the nail on the head.